to the first Master Building Forum of 2021. We are so excited to have you here. My name is Rihanna Sutton. I'm a junior at Butler Traditional High School, and I just want to open up with prayer and just thank everybody for being here as well. God, we just thank you for allowing your people to gather on this call. Great minds, oh God, and we just pray that we enrich in each other, Lord. Let iron sharpen iron. Allow us to be prosperous and just sharpen each other, oh God. Give us $1,000,000 ideas that we may be able to use it to advance your kingdom and give you the glory. And then we just thank you in advance for what you're doing, oh God. We just pray that this year will be so prosperous, oh God. This year will be the year that we make the most money we've ever seen, oh God. And we just thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Well, welcome everybody. I didn't know they were going to throw it on me. I thought Dana was up next, but certainly welcome to Master Builders Academy 2021. I hope you are ready. If you would go ahead and hit the share link, go ahead and hit the share button. We are posting right now on Facebook, and I believe we're out on YouTube also. Want you just to get ready. Listen, you are in for fantastic forum today, and we want you just to be ready. I hope you are prepping for what's going to happen for you in 2021. Listen, it's only going to happen by the effort that you put forward. So I hope you're ready. Today we're talking about level up or get left behind. All right, I want you to understand we are on the move. I believe that there are mighty and great things about to happen for you and your family. But listen, we got to actually put some effort forward. We got some stuff we need to work on. We need to work on ourselves. And so I hope you are prepared for what's going to happen in 2021. Get your notes out. Be ready to take some notes. I don't know if anybody has shared. Are y'all sharing? I need somebody to share right now. Everybody share. All right, share it, hit the share button. And then why don't you go ahead and just put in the chat, just throw your name in the chat and say, I'm a master builder. Throw your name in the chat and say you're a master builder. And then I'm going to ask for Miss Dana Spencer. She's the Pampered Chef consultant. She owns her own business, and she's looking to grow her business in 2021. And so I'm going to ask her if she would come and conduct our core values and our mission statement. Miss Dana?
Well, good morning, Master Builders Academy. Our core values are be punctual, be dependable, be excellent, be detailed, be passionate and motivated, be optimistic and positive, be hungry and studious, be supportive, be benevolent, be ethical. Our mission statement, developing people, building businesses, establishing financial futures, inspiring communities to achieve intellectual and economic renaissance. Be passionate and motivated. What does it mean to be passionate and motivated? When I think about what makes me passionate in a particular area, I believe it's based on knowledge. What you know should move you to action, which leads to passion. For example, the majority of my family members have some sort of chronic condition, high blood pressure, diabetes, and some even both. I had an uncle to tell me when I was in my 40s that I would be on high blood pressure medication by age 50. Based on that information, I had two options. One, I could have thought, well, I guess that's just going to be the way it is. I'll just be on medication like everybody else in the family. Or I could let that information motivate me to take action that would spark positive change. My desire to not be on high blood pressure medication by age 50 was my motivation, which led me to be passionate about making the necessary changes to accomplish the goal. I'm pleased to say that I turned 50 last July, medication free. In my opinion, knowledge is when you take the information that you have to make you make positive changes. So if you're in the room surrounded by people that lack motivation, you're in the wrong room. Our prayer is that you take the information that you hear today, let it motivate you to be passionate about walking in your God-given purpose. Be passionate and motivated. Now for our first session of 2021, Turning Your Vision into Dollars, we have Mr. John Mays, Director of Equity and Inclusion KFC US, owner of Future Hope Investments LLC. Take it away, John.
Hey. What's up, Master Builders Academy? It's 2021. You in the building. You made it, Master Builders. So hold on. 2020 was a whole trip, and you know it. You were sitting up there with some ups and downs, but we came through, y'all. We came through. So you need to celebrate that. I don't care where you at right now. If you're going to see, turn the volume up on the broadcast right now and start celebrating the fact that you're here and you live. And you know what it means to be live right now? You're not even watching the recording. I love for the people who are watching the recording, but for the people who saw that in 2021, that they wanted to see some major significant changes in their life, and they wanted to see it through and wanted to be part of this journey and this movement that is part of each one of us this year, and the opportunity of being completely living in abundance and living in a massive amount of prosperity. And you said that you wanted to be part of that. Man, you got up in the morning, rolled out of bed and turned on your Facebook Live or your YouTube, and now you're here. And so I want to celebrate you in this moment. And matter of fact, I'm celebrating myself because I did the same thing. So, all right, man, we cheered each other on. All right, so I want you to do this right now, is because many of us came into 2021 and we have a renewed hope and a renewed dream. If you don't have that, then I need you to go back and watch the Hope Forum that we did last year. It was powerful. We had Boyce Watkins. We had Miss Alice Houston. I mean, we had Mr. Bridge on here. Mr. Bridgman. We had Michael Ford Jr. on here. I mean, we had some significant people. Dr. Eric Thomas was on here. And so I want you to go back and watch that. So I'm talking to you right now. If you've come into 2021 with a dream, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to you. And I want to make sure that coming into your dream for 2021, that we get the opportunity to turn that into dollars. You know, let's be honest with yourself. Many of you right now are not financially where you want to be. Some of us right now ain't health-wise where we want to be. Many of us right now ain't spiritually where we want to be, emotionally where you want to be. This is going to apply to all of those different things. What I found through Master Builders in this last 5 years is that there's a formula. Come on now. I want you to listen to what I'm saying. There's a formula that successful people follow that helps them be successful. And I'm going to give you a brief taste of that in this session today. I can't give it all to you, because it would take a whole weekend of teaching and helping us to be able to break down and unpack some things. But I hope you take some notes during this time, because the things that are going to come out, even during this small session, are going to potentially, if you allow it to, potentially it's going to change your life. And so first thing we have to do is understand the difference between a dream and a vision. Oh man, hold on. I thought that was the same thing. No, it ain't the same thing. Hold on. There's a difference between a dream and a vision. And the difference is I can. Somebody type it into the chat. What's the difference between a dream and a vision? You know, a visionary has their eyes open. That's MLK. You know, a visionary has their eyes open. Dreamers have their eyes closed. A dream, and you think this thing seems so far off, but a vision, when you add an I can to your dream, then you have a vision. You have something that you believe inside that you can do. And so here's the thing, you know, is stop being a dreamer and add the I can. And I want you to be a visionary, a person who sees something and then takes massive energy and effort to achieve it. And part of that is going to be input in this formula. And so like, here's the type of thing I hear all the time. They say, John, I'm way too old. I'm way too old to have a vision. And all I'm not. No, you're not. Look, I work at Kentucky Fried Chicken. There was an old country guy from the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, who came out of there slanging chicken and said, I got the best chicken ever. He's like 60-some years old. He talks to hundreds of people who tell him no, but he had a vision and he didn't stop. And then ultimately built a multi-billion-dollar company that came forth from that. And so you're not too old, even where you are right now. You're not too old and you're not too young. I'm sitting over there. I see 7-year-olds starting businesses. I know a 12-year-old who's got $60,000, $70,000 in stocks. Like, why is that possible for some people, but it's not for others? It's because those people had vision. So we're challenging you even right now. And so there's some vision killers out there. And so in honor of the vision killers, and if this is you, you need to check yourself right now. And I want you to come on to the I can side. All right. But guess what? In 2021, all the I can't people, in honor of the I can't people, because the second we get ourselves in our mind and say, hey, this is what I want, and this is what I know I'm supposed to do, and this is what it looks like, the first thing we'll say is I can't. And oh my goodness, the I can't folks are going to tell your own self all the different reasons why something ain't possible. You're going to tell yourself that, and then there's the ain't people. And so the ain't people and the can't people are cousins. They like kissing cousins. That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. That ain't me. That ain't me. Well, it's not going to be if you a can't person or ain't person. And then there's the they people. Oh my goodness, the they people. Oh man, that ain't what they told me. They said that you can't do that. Who is they? You know what they gonna say if you attempt to open that business. You know what they gonna say if you start. You know that thing. And it's like, who is they? Who is there? Ain't no they. And then there's the try people. Oh my goodness. Do not say try. If you say try, you lying to yourself. You're not trying. I had people come to me and say, John, I'm gonna try to make it to Master Builders today. No, you're not. Just say I'm not coming and I'm not interested. Because you say if you try, I'm trying is just your excuse, your pre-existing excuse to lie. So in honor of the I can'ts, the I ain'ts, the they people, and the try people, I'm officially changing my name. My name is officially John Mays, the I believe I can man. Yes, indeed. I'm John Mays, the I believe. Matter of fact, I'm not even that. I'm John Mays, the I believe you can, man, because I know I can. I believe you can. And so I'm John Mays, the I believe you can, man. And so now is your time to believe that with me in this moment. Is say it to yourself. I believe that I can. And so add a I can to your dreams. And now you're in a space where you can have a mind open to a vision and something that's attainable in your lifetime, in your generation, something that you're going to see, something that you're going to be able to achieve. Now I'm going to break down the formula for you. And I don't have that long, but I'm going to share the formula. And so I want you to take some notes on this because it's going to be simple. It's going to be 5 simple things, and these things are going to be critical, and we're going to unpack them more as we go through the year. So I want you all to stay tuned in to Master Builders. But this is important. The first thing that you're going to need is your mindset. And that is your mindset. You got to make up your mind that you're going to get paid. I mean, you like got to literally make up your mind. And so that's going to take you to have a major life-changing event. Now, that can be one of 4 ways. And I'm going to give you the 3 that you don't want. But one of those ways is death. Another one is disease. Another one is destruction. So you don't want those 3 Ds to force you into a place where your mind is prepared to move forward with life and all the different things that God has in store for you. You want to have a desire. Okay, that's the D you do want. You want to have a desire in your side of you that is unbreakable, unshifting, unyielding, that says, this is what I want, and this is who I am, and this is the value that I bring. Some of us have been on clearance for way too long. I looked up and somebody said, but I realized that I was on the clearance rack. Why am I putting myself on the clearance rack? Why am I giving myself a failing grade when I'm the one grading the paper? I should be an A student, so I give myself an A plus, 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 plus. It's changing our mindset from being a failure to being a success. We become what we think about. So the output of this section of mindset is having a understanding of who you are, what you want, and that it's possible and that I can do it. So somebody say, I can't do it. And I'm John Mays. I believe you can, man, telling you that you can do it. You know, the next one is planning. It's number 2, planning. It's like, no matter what you want, like, let's say this year, you know, let me just tell y'all, because I want to just be transparent, is my personal wealth vision is different than some, especially as a Black male. My personal wealth vision, and as a saved Black male, you know, I have a personal wealth vision. I'm gonna share it with you, even though I normally wouldn't in this session, but I'm not scared, and I'm gonna tell you, is to be abundant in Christ, is to walk in my anointing every single day without money getting in the way. That is what wealth looks like to me. Man, I got excited about that. That's what wealth looks like to me. And you personally are going to have your own wealth vision. Like, to me, wealth looks like being able to make every day of my wife's life special. That is important to me. That is who I am. That is part of what right looks like. Ownership. It is important for me to own things. That might be because I have the oldest living relative I have is a slave, you know, the one I can track back to. And I want to be a person who has ownership of businesses and land and investments all over the world. I can see myself as that. That's part of my wealth vision. I am an encourager of people. For whatever reason, I believe that I can, and I believe that you can. And so that is part of my anointing. Also, when it comes to that, is being a giver. I just like to give stuff away because I don't want a lot of stuff. I'm a simple person. So it's not big enough for me to want stuff, because that stuff, I wouldn't get no value out of it. I have to give it away. So I'm looking forward to that. And I love being a coach to my kids. I ain't their daddy, I'm their coach. And I love it. I love it, every single decade of it. And so that's what I want. But I ain't gonna get me anywhere without a plan. So number 2 is a plan. A plan. And so I have to be hungry and studious. That is a core value of the Master Builder Academy, is being hungry and studious. And that is going to keep me. Planning is going to defeat analysis paralysis. I can't go buy a property. Let's say I want to go buy a property, you know, and I have a plan in place. You know, I can think about the plan, but once I do it, it gives me confidence that I can execute the plan. And so you're going to need to take and have a good, solid plan, which is, you can have that. That's very easy for you to be able to do that, but it's going to take some research. You're going to need to seek wisdom, seek knowledge, seek understanding. Planning is going to, in a real practical way, it's going to help you overcome your fears. And guess what? Write the plan down. It don't have to be a lot. It could be a paragraph. It could be short, but write it down. It's going to help you with your decision making. You know, it's going to help you to get over your fear of money. Many of you are afraid of money. I know I personally was for years. I was like, I don't want no money. I was like, I just want to be comfortable. I just need a little bit. You know, I'm going to be all right with what I got. And I started to make all these excuses. And then I actually went and said, the Lord don't want us to have money. I said, God don't want us. He said, woe to the rich. You know, it's all this stuff. And it's like, we will convince ourselves, we will find reasons to believe that we're not supposed to be wealthy. You know, and I want you to undo all that, you know, and through planning and having the right mindset, it's going to help you to get past the fear of success, the fear of money, and then also the fear that you're an imposter. And the imposter syndrome happens when we in a place, but we believe we had to fake it to get there. And I'm telling you, you're not a fake. You're not a phony. You're supposed to be there. That's what you're supposed to have. And that is perfectly all right for you to have it. And so I want you to walk in it. And so the output of that planning is going to be realistic, action-oriented, and time-bound goals. You will have a strategy in place that's going to help you to get from where you are and who you are, the value you plan to bring, to where you would like to be. Number 4, you want to take obsessive action. So that's number 3. You're going to want to take obsessive action. And we're going to get into this at a later point, but take steps in faith. A lot of times, if you can take those consistent daily actions, if you want to lose weight, it's going to take you working out every single day. If you want to own property, you're going to have to look at properties every single day. Get your actions together. What are you going to do? Put your mind on the financing. Put your mind on learning stocks. Put your mind on the business that you're building. Put your mind on how you can build up a broad customer base. But then take massive action. Take scared action. Move on it while you're afraid. Don't wait. Your time is right now. I love that part. And then this is what you want to do. Number 4 is you want to benchmark the journey. And so I'm going to give you a free one with this is right here is take time every single week with somebody. I take time personally with my family and we do thinking time. We put all these goals in front of each other, all the things that we're working on, our whole vision in front of each other. And then each week we take realistic steps together. We talk about the thing that we did last week, and then we also talk about what we're going to do next week. We hold each other accountable, but we also celebrate in the moment. So that's very practical, but benchmark the journey. And so take that practical weekly check-in step to hold yourself accountable, but also to take a breath and celebrate those small victories along the way. And then the 5th one is you're going to want to tell your story. Don't leave it all to yourself. The best part about telling your story is that now you get to hold yourself accountable. Guess what? Every time I come on Master Builder Academy and tell people how I lost 100 pounds, I'm holding myself accountable to keeping it off because now I'm telling everybody that this is a thing for me, and then it encourages somebody else to guess what? You can be almost 40 and lose that. You can be almost 50. I see people even older be able to lose and be in that best health and shape of their life. I've seen people start businesses that became millionaires in their 40s and 50s and 60s. I mean, don't think that there's any age. I know some 20-year-old millionaires out there. I know people in their 30s who retired. You can do it. Just follow the formula. But then talk about it at the end. Come on, Master Builders. Come on, any kind of forum and share your story with other people. It's going to encourage them. It's also going to keep you going and keep you motivated. And so those are the 5 things that I wanted to give you today. We're going to continue to unpack that. But, that's going to turn your vision into dollars. So I'm challenging each one of you. I'm challenging you right now, wherever you're sitting, I'm challenging you to take this opportunity to go from a dream to a vision and turn your vision into dollars. Thank y'all, Master Builders. I appreciate y'all. We'll talk to you later.
I know y'all better be woke now. I know y'all better be woke now. You have been blessed this morning by the amazing John Mays. I'm sorry, that I believe you can, John Mays. I'm telling you, listen, everybody, don't be stingy this morning. You ain't the only one that need this. Hit the share button right now. Your friend should have heard that. Listen, your brother should have heard that. Tell them to wake your butt. This Builders Academy time. We done hit you hard right off the bat with John Mays. Listen, I want you right now to put in the chat some of the stuff that you done learned. Listen, this ain't about hearing something and then letting it go. Look at Vicky didn't play with it. Listen, it's about you now reminding yourself of the things that you're being taught. Remind yourself of the things that you're learning. Listen, some people go to school and they learn for the test and then it's gone. But they're not actually learning to be educated so that they can actually do it over and over and over again. I want to listen, John Mays said, a visionary has their eyes open. And listen, a visionary is the one that is charting the course, making plans, and doing the thing. He said, but the dreamers have their eyes closed. Listen, I'm done being a dreamer. I got people tell me I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this. I'm thinking about it. Man, when you going to stop thinking about it? I'm writing a business plan. Okay, fine. How long it take to write the business plan? Sometimes you're writing a business plan for 5, 10 years. Forget the business plan. Get started. Make up in your mind this year, one day. Man, stop with the one day. One day was last year. Right now, we working on right now, today, this week, I'm going to get it done. And that's what he said. So I like that one. Then he said, I will try. That statement, I'm going to try. He said, that's a pre-existing excuse to lie. Woo! John Mays don't have his preaching license, but he needs one. He says, that statement, I will try, is a pre-existing excuse to lie. And who you lying to? You lying to yourself. When you going to say, you know what? I'm done trying. From here on out, I'm going to get it done. All right? Then I just want to leave you with this before I bring in Susan. I want you to understand this. He said he believes that you can. And that's the wonderful thing about being a part of Master Builders Academy is we believe that you can. Listen, not only do we believe that you can, we believe that you will. You will get it done. Not next year. No. 2021 is the year. Not December. Forget December. We working on the next month. Listen, it don't take long to start down your success road. All right. So I want you to think about that. I heard Vusi Thembekwio. I heard him say a radical transformation starts in the mind. Listen, the minute you declare in your mind, I will get this done. The minute you declare that I'm going to work on this thing, I'm going to get it done. The minute you declare it in your mind, it's already done. Listen, I hope you're excited right now. All right, I want to just bring, I'm going to have Susan, one of our Master Builders Academy board members. Susan is one of our fantastic leaders on Master Builders Academy. How she's going to come and she's going to let you know about Miss Denise Gray and the topic that she's going to do. Welcome, Susan. Come on in here.
Okay. Hi. Good morning, Master Builders. I'm so excited that it's 2021. I'm so excited that we're at this again because I don't know about you guys, but ever since the Economic Hope Forum, I have just been itching to get back into Master Builders Academy and back in with everybody. And I'm especially excited today because I get to introduce Denise Gray. I've always called Denise a force of nature, and you're about to find out why. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about her, and then I got to tell you a little story because you just got to understand who you're going to be dealing with here. Denise was born and raised on the north side of Lexington. She's a proud graduate of Bryan Station High School and also a graduate of the University of Louisville. She got a BA in communications there and was a member of the national championship cheerleading squad. So she's good at motivating, you know that. After graduate school, she didn't have enough school, so she went to law school. She went to the University of Denver Sturm College of Law, and she's been all about public service her whole life. In 2018, she filed to run for Kentucky's 28th Senate District, which includes North Fayette, Clark, Montgomery, parts of Scott and Bath counties, and she was the underdog by a lot. Managed to give the incumbent, Ralph Alvarado, a run for his money. He only won by a slim margin. Now, how many of us would have been brave enough to do that? Me either. I know. And then in 2020, the governor, Andy Beshear, and Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman appointed her to a position within their administration. That's when I met her. And I can tell why Governor Beshear is always looking for something for her because she is just amazing. And then she left that position because the governor again asked her to please become the deputy political director for the Amy McGrath for U.S. Senate campaign. Again, a force of nature. She just does amazing things. So I want to tell you this story. When I met Denise, she was working for the Governor's Office of Early Childhood, and they were my client. I am with Red 7E. We're an ad agency downtown. So we had built this beautiful website. And it had been sitting in what I like to call website purgatory because you can build a website, but unless the back end development's done on it, it never goes live. And with the government has to handle that back end development. So it had been sitting there since November. I met Denise in February or March, something like that. Nobody had been in that office because the administrations had been turning over, and nobody was doing anything about this except for me. I was calling the developer every week, twice a week. Where are we? Are we ever going to put this website up? It got to the point where they didn't even answer the phone when I called. They knew my number. So there we were. So Denise comes in, and I just can tell she's just a ball of energy, which is great. So she's new to this, but very passionate about what she's doing. So I tell her about the website. We show her the website. We show her everything. And she says, you know what? Let me make a couple calls. See what we can do and I want to make these changes. And fabulous. We'll do all that. That's not a problem. I swear to you, it was like I went and got a cup of coffee and came back. My phone's ringing off the hook. My email blows up. And all of a sudden, I'm told this website development is being expedited. What? I mean, I've been trying to get this done for 5 months. So we had several calls with this company doing the development. And I want to tell you something. Never once was she mean, nasty, condescending, or threatening. She is a woman who commands respect. And I know because she has all my respect. So without further ado, I just want to give an enthusiastic Master Builder Academy welcome to Denise Gray.
Hey, everybody. That right there was a wonderful introduction. Thank you all for having me. So you all heard a little bit about me. My name is Denise Gray, born and raised right here in the north side of Lexington, where I still reside. And, you know, from the time that I was in third grade, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew my purpose. So we heard John May speak about your vision, having that vision. But my question to you is, who are you? And what is your why? What is your purpose? I found my purpose third grade when I read a book about Shirley Chisholm and Barbara Jordan. And I said, wow, they look like me. Beautiful women, smart women. And I was like, I want to be just like them. My mom is an immigrant. She was born and raised in Guyana, grew up as a teenager in London, England, and then immigrated here to the United States. So I had a different perspective then. I had someone that was in my ear telling me that there was nothing that I can do. Nothing that I cannot do. And, you know, I heard that all along from her, telling me, Denise, you can do it. So I started to make a plan for myself in third grade. Yes, I did. Making a plan about what I was going to do because I already knew who I was. I knew that my life would be about service, being of service to our community. But in high school and in college still, I didn't know exactly what that looked like. But I knew that I grew up in a home that was filled with violence. And I didn't want anyone else, any other child, any other woman, anyone else to live how I lived. And so I took that passion for community and for us by venturing off to Denver to become an attorney that would work solely with domestic violence issues and in family law. But you know what? And I had no intention on coming back to Kentucky because for me, Kentucky was a place where there was no place for me to grow as a Black woman who was fairly intelligent, actually extremely intelligent, who can intimidate many people. I said, no, I don't want to go back to Kentucky. But God has a plan for us, every single one of us. And so God sent me back. I became ill. And while being ill, I'm here in Lexington. And then I was unable to practice. So I worked with Fayette County Public Schools. And right there is where I found where I needed to go. God placed me in schools that were predominantly Black and brown. Students who didn't have educators who looked like them. It was when I went to the library one day at one of those schools and found one of my Latin students crying in the library. in third or fourth grade. And she told me, Miss Gray, I can't do anything. And I'm like, you're just a child. You can do anything. She said, no, Miss Gray, I'm a girl. My mother's from South America and I'm poor. And I was thinking to myself, wow, she already believes she cannot do anything. And then I had to inform her, hey, guess what? I'm a girl. You know, believe it or not, my mom is from South America. And I told her, you know what? I'm an educator. I'm definitely not wealthy. And I realized at that moment, that was when I needed to show the children, my community, what was possible for them. And that's when I stepped out to serve our community on a larger scale in the political realm. It was because my students that I saw laws that were being enacted and being passed, all these policies that were negatively affecting their families. At the time, we had the gang bill that was being passed or being talked about. We had bills talking about, let's get rid of that pension for our educators who were giving of their lives, who's spending money out of their own pocket. We had legislation talking about how, hey, you don't need that health care. Health care is a privilege. So, and I heard that no one was going to run against my then opponent. Everyone was like, no, he's just too big. He's too strong. He spoke at the Republican National Convention. I said, well, I might be 5 feet, but I'm not afraid of anyone because I know that my gift will make room for me. Your gift will make room for you. Always remember that. Keep that in your heart. So that's when I fought to run for office, the underdog. There has not been a Black woman in our Senate, in our General Assembly, in the Senate, in, I would say, 30 years, over 30 years at this point. And right now there isn't one, but we're going to change that. And they said, no, you can't do it. You cannot do it. I actually had people within our own party, the Democratic Party, who reached out to find people who were white and male, trial attorney, to run against me. But little did they know that trained lawyer, educator, person who was already doing things in the community before I even got involved politically. And that right there was my weapon. While going around, my purpose was always in my heart. Always in my heart. And all that I do is for service of our community. Every single thing that I do, from going out to the groups that I get involved with, I think of that purpose. And what many times people get lost in chasing that dollar bill. But remember, when you are within your purpose, many doors that you did not realize will open. They will just appear. It was through me having faith in myself and staying within my purpose of being a service to the community, not of wanting to be in office, but to serve. Did doors open to me, such as being on the national forefront, from being in Glamour magazine, to inspiring my students. My students at Crawford Middle School, Booker T. Washington Intermediate Academy are inspired to go out and do something that they never thought was possible. But guess what? They saw their educator, Miss Gray, and they say, hey, Miss Gray, yes. And they'll say, you can do anything. So on the campaign trail, my catchphrase was, let Gray lead the way. And what I tell everyone is that you can lead no matter what your title is. In every single job that I do, when there's a reason why I was appointed to a position in the governor's administration. There was a reason why I was asked to join Amy McGrath's campaign. There's a reason why. When you stay in your purpose and you do the work, no matter how small it is, from writing that paper to making sure things are executed properly and in excellence in every single thing I do. If you ask me to sweep the floor, guess what? I will sweep like you've never been swept before. I will sweep and I will smell, because I know that everything I do is to serve a higher plane. So, everyone, my master builders, know that doors, people will stand in your way, because like I said, we had people within my own party who didn't understand the worth that was in me, that I already knew was there. So when people say no and they attempt to close the door, you put your foot in it and you say, I'm not going anywhere. While on the campaign trail, they used my race. My opponent at the time, well, Ralph Alvarado, is Latin. But guess what the Republican Party decided to do? They went racial. They went racial on me. And that to me speaks volumes about what people are really willing to believe. So despite all of that, the thing about it is, every single person that I came in contact with throughout my campaign trail and prior to knew my character. Because what you see with me is what you get. And when you're authentic and you're in line with what you're supposed to do, people will smell, they will sense, they will gravitate to that realness and to that authenticity. So stay true, be you. You don't have to be anyone else, because there's only one you. And when you're in where you're supposed to be, not what Jane over there is doing, or Lakeisha over there is doing, or Susan is doing over there, because they might be doing great, but they are in alignment with what they're supposed to be doing. My purpose, when people looked at me and they said, wow, you are a lawyer, you're trained to be a lawyer, but why are you working with special needs students? Why are you working with these students over here who struggle to read or have behavior issues? I did that because I knew I was where I was supposed to be. I may have given up over 100, a large check, but I figured money will come. Money will come when you are where you're supposed to be. So I say all that to say, who are you? Do you feel within you that you're being authentically yourself? You can have a vision. You can have all the visions in the world, all the goals. You can write it down. You can write it in your gratitude journal. You can do whatever you do. But if you are not secure in who you are and confident in knowing that you're doing exactly what God placed you on this planet to do, then it's not going to work. And so you will have hardships, because not everybody else is in their purpose. And you will see that, you will feel it. When people can sense that you are where you're supposed to be and doing exactly what you're supposed to do, you will come across people who will say, let's keep Denise in her own lane. I saw that on the campaign trail. I saw that working on the Amy McGrath campaign. People wanted to put me in a box because they did not know who they were. But the thing about it is, they will come, but keep doing the work. Keep dialing it. Keep giving it your all every single day. People will notice. The money will come. Doors will open up that you never thought were there. So I want you all to know that your gift will make room for you, and to never give up and stay true to yourself no matter what. Thank you all. Be blessed.
Wow. Thank you, Miss Denise Gray. That was a powerful, listen, we must be having business church or something, because Miss Gray, she just testified. Listen, I just want to let you know, listen, if you would, put in the chat, Tell us what you learned, and let me. And while you're doing it, I'm going to tell you what I gathered from that. You know, the thing she said might be 5 foot, but I'm unafraid. Listen, I don't care what giant you facing. Don't let the giant tell you too small to battle me. Listen, she said, they said the dream is too big for her. You listen, you're dreaming too big. Listen, the person that's telling you that you dreaming too big, you got to know that that's an enemy standing in front of you. If they tell you it's too big, they must not be part of my team. They must not be my friend, because my friends tell me I can do it. John Mays already told you that the people that support you will tell you there's no doubt in our mind you can get it done. Listen to it. She said, everyone will not understand nor appreciate your worth. Let me tell you something. Those of you that have read my best-selling book, 24 What Can Happen Today, one of the stories I tell in that book, I talk about my sergeant when I was on the fire department. I talk about the sergeant who came, and he'd heard that I was wanting to get promoted. And he came and he put his arm around me, and he puts his arm around me, and he tells me, he says, Michael, I thought he was going to give me a piece of advice. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was going to tell me how to knock that test. Nah, he tried to tell me, he said, Michael, listen, I heard you can take that test, and, you know, really, you're not smart enough. He said, really? He said, what you're going to end up doing is embarrassing yourself and embarrassing your company. He was like, Mike, I advise you just to be happy for you having a job. Let me tell you something. I walked away for a minute and I was like a little bit discouraged. And then I heard the voice. You know that voice I'm talking about. That voice from God Almighty that spoke to me and said, Michael, who is he? Who's he to determine how high I have determined for you? That same joker, I not only became a sergeant like him, but then a little bit later, I became a captain and became his boss. And then, listen, God, just to make sure, he said he'll prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemy. He didn't just stop right there. He made me a assistant chief, a lieutenant colonel. And I'm just trying to tell you, whatever it is that you believe in for, whatever it is that you want is your dream, make it not a dream, but make it a vision. Make it something you say, I'm going to accomplish it no matter what. And I'm not too small, and it's not too big, and I can accomplish it. All right, man, I'm telling you, we on fire today at Master Builders Academy. I'm going to bring in right now, I want to bring in Miss Lakeisha Morris. Y'all know her. I call her the cake lady because she be making them cakes that are seen all over the world with Deshay's Cakes and Treats. But she's going to come in and she's going to work on an activity with all of us to help drive home what we're learning right now. Miss Lakeisha?
Yes, welcome, Master Builders. I am excited. We are in our first forum of the year. How awesome is this? This is just great. Our speakers have been wonderful. So what we're going to do right now in this moment is we're going to take some time to put this into practice, right? It's always good for us to take a moment to practice these tips and tools that we've been getting. So right now we're going to get into a scenario, and how this is going to work is I'm going to read the scenario to you all, and then we're going to work together as a group, and we're going to use 6 steps to break down this scenario and really put in some practice into how we can work on refocusing our mind, visualization, and really staying in line, right, with what we want to do. So if my PowerPoint, are they going to put that up on the screen? Let me see here. Okay, awesome. So if we go to the next slide. Okay, so here are 3 reasons, and really we've already talked about this, but I'm going to run through this quickly. 3 reasons that most of us have a hard time focusing on our goals. So maybe we're doing something that we should not be doing, right? So this could look like us spending our time hanging out with friends, right? Or maybe we're into an activity that's not really in line with where we're saying. It's not on the trajectory of where we're saying we want to go, okay? Next, we're not doing the things that we should be doing. We talked about, John Mays was talking about, oh, I'm going to try, right? Oh, I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do that. right? Or maybe we're sitting around, we're saying we want to get into this new field or we want to add this thing to our business, but we're not doing any research. We're not putting in any effort. Maybe we should be taking a new course or something and we're not doing that. So, all right, our third reason, maybe we're unsure what we should be doing, so we just not gonna do nothing, right? We just gonna sit there, we just gonna wait, okay? And we know that don't bring that neither, right? There has to be action. So let's get into our scenario right now. Go to my next slide. Okay, so Janelle is a small business owner and entrepreneur. She is a godmother to a beautiful 8-month-old girl who she babysits every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so that the new parents can rest. She is also a full-time student studying entomology, which is the study of bugs, and this is a topic that has always piqued her interest. Janelle is passionate about bringing joy to others. Her company, Float On LLC, makes custom balloon arches and various balloon decor. She has been in business for the past 3 years, and she has become fairly popular and has seen incredible growth in revenue, even though she can only work her business a couple days out of the week. Last year, however, during COVID, Janelle's business took a major unexpected plummet, as many of her customers had to cancel their large events due to safety and CDC guidelines. Money was tight for Janelle, and she was denied for every grant and loan that she applied for. She struggled to pivot in the new market and ended the year in the red. Her business finances took a hard hit, which ultimately had a negative impact on her personal finances. Even though she faced these challenges, Janelle remains extremely optimistic about the new year. Her goals for 2021 are centered around earning more revenue, acquiring more clients, and getting her name out there. Janelle's big vision is to be able to coordinate the decor and large events for celebrities. She feels that if she would just change her target audience to a more elite clientele, then all her problems will be solved. So how can we help Janelle refocus and visualize her desired destination? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at these 6 steps, and then we're going to talk this through together. We can go to the next slide. Okay, so step 1 is state the vision. I'm having a hard time seeing that. Step 2 is assess your current actions. 3 is identify and eliminate distractions. Step 4, we're going to narrow our focus. Step 5, create a tangible model of the vision. And then step 6, we're going to study that visual aid and then act as if it's already ours. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Step 1, state the vision. So what is Janelle's big vision? Her big vision is to be able to coordinate decor at large events for celebrities. Okay? All right, next. Step 2, what are her current actions? So what is she doing right now? And we need to ask ourselves, is this aligned with her vision? So you all can start putting this in the comment section. So we know that she's babysitting every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Is this aligned with her vision? You all throw that in the comments, all right? Next, she's also a full-time student studying entomology, bugs. Is this aligned with her vision? Okay? And then she can only work her business a couple days out of the week. We got to ask ourselves, is this in line? And then she wants to change her target audience to a more elite clientele. Okay, do we feel like she is in line with where she's saying she wants to go? She's saying she wants to be able to do parties and do great things for celebrities. Are these things in line? Okay, Erica says she needs to stop babysitting. All right, okay. So we got to ask ourselves, is this in line? Okay, let's go to our next one. So what does she need to eliminate? So Erica already said she got to stop that babysitting. She can't be watching somebody's kid all weekend. Okay, Jeanette said use her time wisely. Yes. So she can't babysit all weekend and she got a business she needs to work. Most people have their parties on the weekend, right? That's prime money-making time. So she needs that time in order to be able to do more. Okay, Erica also said she needs to work more during the week. Okay. So what about her being in school, studying bugs? Is this something that she needs to continue doing? How do y'all feel about that? Should she keep studying bugs? Just because it's a topic that interests her. All right, John Mays, you know how John Mays said she needs to grind every day, right? Okay. And she can only work her business a couple of days out of the week. So these few things she can eliminate. Do we feel that her changing her target market? What do we think about that?
Let me say something, Keisha. Let me
Yeah.
jump in. So I see all the time. I'll talk to different people who are saying, "Hey, I want to get in this particular business. I want to do this or that." And a couple of issues all time. One, they'll tell me, "I'm gonna quit the thing that makes me money now. I'm gonna quit my job and I'm just gonna do this full time." Well, that may be great eventually, but maybe you need to do the thing that's paying you so that the thing that's paying you can help feed the thing that you're trying to invest into. All right. So sometimes it's not a cookie cutter answer. And so you need to think it through. Is me receiving money in from that job, does it help now fund the new business that I want to do? So before I just quit something, you need to actually think about, okay, if I just quit, where's my startup money? All right, if this business needs a startup money. But I do like what John was saying. Sometimes we also stop, we say, well, I'm only going to do this business every blue moon. Well, you need to grind a little harder. Maybe you can do the business on that time when you call in your time free time. You know that time we talk about. This is my relaxed time. Maybe you need to get rid of your relaxed time. I had somebody tell me Sunday nights, that's my TV time. Well, maybe you ought to get rid of your TV time, right? There's all these different efforts, let alone the time that we use to do what we call browsing on the internet or browsing in social media. You know, that just, I'm going to take a quick look at the Facebook and see what's on there. And a quick look, if you look at your time, lasted 30 minutes, lasted an hour. All right. So those are some of the things that we also need to look at.
Right. I agree. That's a really good point. Just a point, you don't want to quit what's making you money, right? Sometimes you're going to have to keep working with that. So that's good. I love these comments too. Let's go to our next slide. All right, so we also talked about step 4. We need to narrow the focus. So this means that we're not going to do anything, right, that misaligns with our vision. Now, we talked about there may be some exceptions to that. Maybe I need to continue working my job so that it can fund my vision, so it can fund where I'm trying to get to. And then also ask ourselves, what can we implement that is in line with our vision? So some of the things that Miss Janelle needs to do is she needs to avoid time zapping situations, right? And she'll also need to avoid hanging out with people who don't support her big vision. They'll always give you a reason not to do something. I believe John Mays talked about this, and even Miss Denise, right? It don't mean you're going to have to get rid of all your friends, because some people you may need to be an example for, but make sure you're not spending an amount of time with people that aren't going to support you. And then maybe she should add in YouTube training videos on how to make balloon arches. We talk about multiple streams of revenue all the time here at Master Builder. So how can she be making money passively? So one thing she can do is she could create training videos on YouTube. She could add a paid master class on balloon shaping, color matching, these things like this, in order to continue bringing her in extra revenue. And then the last one, we got to throw this in here. She needs to become a master builder, right? She needs to find her a troop of people that say, you can do this. John Mays already said he got enough faith for you. He believes you can do it, right? So she needs to become a master builder. All right. All right. Let's go to our next one. Step 5. So we talked about creating a tangible model of the vision. So you have to think about what this looks like for you. And there are all different kinds of models. We talked about vision board. You can create a word board where you have different words or quotes or whatever the case may be. Maybe you want to start a journal. So for Janelle, it could look like her pasting who's this, Jennifer Lopez's face on somebody, and then she's acting like she's consulting with her, right? She get something together for Jennifer Lopez, or maybe it's placing a visual of her up with a large display or something that she'd like to do. Andrea said, hang around with people moving you in the same direction. That's awesome. moving in the same direction as you. I love that. So the model is such a big piece. A lot of people, they have a hard time visualizing because they're not looking at it every day. Maybe they have a hard time seeing themselves in that role. So you need to have something in your hand that you can look at. So this is another good way to visualize. And then our last step 6, study your visual aid and act like it's yours. We talked about this before, Master Builders. We talked about the power pose. We talked about how you dress for success. So this is something that Janelle could do. If she wants some big name clients, maybe she should start dressing a little different. Don't show up at the, the consultation or show up putting the event together looking a mess. Maybe you want to dress the part, dress like you want to dress like who you want to attract. Okay. Do you have anything else to that?
Yeah, let me throw two last things in. One is, and I think Andrea kind of alluded to it, and that's the networking part. Yeah. All right. A lot of times you want to, how do you get these new clients? Well, you're going to have to actually go some places. Right. All right. Sometimes we fearful. So we're not showing up at different events. And listen, you got to network. All right. And networking means you got to get beyond your comfort zone. Well, I go to everything I'm invited to. Well, the only things you're invited to are the things where your buddies are there and you try to get past them. Right. So you need to go and find out, hey, there's all kind of events going on in your city, in your town. There's all kind. There's political things, there's business things, there's community things, all these different events that you can go to and find new people, meet new people, get bold. The second thing I'll mention is accountability. All right. Part of the problem for many of us is we don't do a great job of holding ourselves accountable. So if you don't really do a great job of holding yourself accountable, then you probably need to be a part of something or with a group of people that you can tell your vision to, tell them what you're doing, get a mentor, have somebody that challenges you. And when they see, listen, your buddies, they like that you just like them. So if they ain't got nothing and they broke, they love you like that. All right. Right. But if you're going to ever step up, you need to get with some people that make you uncomfortable. It may be people of a different culture, a different nationality, a different race, a different climate, a different acumen. No matter what it is, get with that group and begin to learn from them. And then tell them what you're talking about and let them hold you accountable. Great job, Keisha.
That's awesome. Can I add one last thing? Because you mentioned a really good point, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. We like to stay in our industry, or we want to be around people that's doing the same thing. Like, we have to branch out and meet. Maybe you're gonna meet somebody in construction, maybe you'll meet somebody in real estate, but all of those connections are important because you don't know who those people know. So
and don't be afraid. Listen, we turn our nose up at people and we have no idea who they are. Mm-hmm. All right. I remember walking down the street with my teacher in high school, and there was a guy sitting on the tarp. He was waiting for the tarp to come past, and I thought he was a bum. I thought he was, he was dressed all poor looking, and my teacher talked to him like, "Hey, Mr. Sneeder, how are you?" And I was like, "What's he tripping for?" So I asked him, so why was you acting like that with a guy? He said, "That's Mr. Al Sneeder. He owns the Galt House. He owns Executive West, the Executive Inn." He said, "That guy's the richest man in Louisville." I was like, "That guy?" Listen, sometimes we turn our nose up at people. You don't have a clue who they are.
Right.
So sometimes you got to branch out, talk to people, and then let them know what you're doing. And you'll never know these divine connections that will begin to help you get to where you're looking for.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully this helped you all, and you can take this model and look at your own vision, your own goals, and assess and say, what can I do to switch things up?
Great job, Keisha. Listen, we're down to our last speaker. I know y'all wanted to go on for like another 3 hours, but this ain't the conference. So we're down to our last speaker. I'm going to bring in Mr. John Mays. You know the I believe you can, man. And I'm going to have him introduce our next speaker. John Mays, are you ready?
Hey, I'm going to tell you, I'm more than ready. It's because you now have the opportunity to hear from the great Victor Cole. Now, this ain't just a normal brother, but guess what? It's a normal brother. You know, this is somebody you can identify with who is achieving massive levels of success, and he does it the right way. He's on his grind and he's doing what most won't. He's an alumni of Central High School. That means he's from Louisville, Kentucky, but he cares about the people of Louisville, Kentucky. So much to the point that he spends time investing in his community and having a passion for giving back. This brother wants everybody to be wealthy. But let me tell you something about Victor Cole that you don't know. He's been in the military serving us and serving our country for over 15 years. But while in the military, after coming back from Afghanistan, when most people got their butt kicked by life and said, I ain't going to do nothing, and went out there and partied and goofed off all their little money, what he did is he said, I'm a football fan, and changed being a football fan to being a professional football team owner. Come on, take that in for a second. This brother said, while working a full-time job, which he still works, that he said, I'm going to own a professional football team, ... Now, 9 years as a professional football team owner, and now is blessing many people with opportunities to join in co-ownership with him and join on his journey. He's daggone it. He's even the president of the homeowners association in his neighborhood. This is a bad boy. And I'm telling you, he's just like you. So anything that Victor is going, that's what I want you to into it and say, Victor, what did you do? How did you do it? And how can I emulate what you're doing so that I can be successful like that? And without further ado, we're going to bring up the man, the myth, the legend, Victor Cole.
That's really good. I really like that. Hell of an intro. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Victor Cole, as Mr. Mays had said. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak to you guys today. Like you said, we have a tremendous opportunity, and I'm just blessed to obviously be a part of what I'm able to do just in general, and what I'm able to kind of give back to the community, and just really beyond our community. Just the world, really. What we got going on is it's a huge pillar. It's a huge magnet to serve as an example for others, for just generations to come, to kind of go ahead and just break barriers, if you would. So just a little bit about my history. So I'm originally from New York City. That's where I was born. So I've kind of seen the big city life in the Big Apple. Queensbridge projects. I didn't come from, just some just gravy neighborhood or anything like that. So, I've seen the struggle since I was little, moved around. Mom says, pack it up. We have to pack it up. So, I never really kept a same address. So just always on the go. Things always changing. Nothing ever just being the same, or just, your typical lifestyle. So, like I said, I was born in New York City. We moved around, went to Virginia Beach, Virginia, then to Atlanta, Georgia, then came to Louisville, Kentucky, about 1997. And, so I did like my 8th grade in middle school here, went to Conway Middle. And then actually that's when I started playing football, started getting recruited by some local high schools. And I ended up going to Central High School. And so I kind of started learning the history of, obviously, Louisville, Kentucky, Central High School, and just a lot of the prestige behind that, and just the dynamics of the community. So, lived in the West End, lived in the East End, lived all over the city and whatnot. And once I got done with high school, I ended up going to Kentucky State University for football as well. And I spent about 3.5 years there until I had my daughter. And from that point, that's when I thought about joining the military. So at that point, joined the military. And like John said, I've been in for about 15.5 years now. So in the Kentucky Air National Guard. And during that time, I spent a lot of time, I guess, really getting the opportunity to see the world. And it came with great sacrifice. Again, like I told you guys, I had my daughter. And that's kind of one of the biggest reasons that I joined the military. It was more so to kind of be able to provide for her. And, at that point, I was like, all right, hey, I got to start thinking about, someone else. Now I have a child. It's no longer about me or my football dreams and stuff like that, or my business aspirations. I have to make some type of a sacrifice. So, again, I joined. So in that, the benefit of, joining, you come across a lot of great people. Networking is always like a big deal there, and it's what you really make of your experience. But again, I got the opportunity to see the world. I was able to go to the West Coast or go overseas, go to Hawaii, go to Germany, Europe, Asia, Korea, the Middle East, and, kind of see things obviously for myself. So, I've held many different positions within the military. I made my way up the ranks over the years, obviously, being in 15 and a half years. So currently a master sergeant. But, I've had the opportunity to, like I said, just gain this experience, see the world for myself, get outside of Louisville, get outside of just different places that I've lived, and just see and experience different cultures, cuisines and whatnot, and just different walks and ways of life. And just with that, there was a lot of takeaways. As John said, about 2012, I did a year-long tour in Afghanistan on a combat tour there. And the entire time, I'm getting through my time there, and which I have plenty of crazy stories to probably share about that. But, folks kind of found out that I used to be involved with semi-pro football, which I used to play once I kind of came to the end of my playing career. And, they were like, oh, I think that's really neat. And, if I ever got into it again, they would be interested in doing it. So during that time, I took the time to kind of crunch some numbers. I put together a business plan, and, I kind of ran it past a few people. And then one of my good buddies, who's still currently a part owner now, he kind of shared a few ideas and helped kind of get everything founded and started. And so when we came back, we launched it. And we started off as an outdoor semi-pro team playing here in Louisville. And we were actually so successful, like on the field. We won a championship our first year. That was kind of one of the last few years that I, was coaching and whatnot. And then the media started kind of getting wind of the program. And, they thought that we were going to actually be a professional indoor arena team, which there's a difference. And so, I'm like trying to tell the media, like, no, we're just a semi-pro outdoor team. And, we want to be able to help kids that, maybe messed up in high school, or they messed up in college, or maybe they made it to the pros and things didn't go well for them. And this is like a fallback opportunity for them to be able to play, work on their skills, and still have the opportunity to maybe make it up somewhere. And so, I took a lot of pride initially by just saying, hey, you know what, my way of giving back to the community at the time, by way of football would be by way of football. How many guys can I get into college if they didn't get the opportunity to get recruited for football coming out of high school? And, and they had to go into being like a working adult, or maybe they got kids and whatnot and have a family. How many of these kids can I actually help to get them a scholarship or get them a walk-on opportunity to a university, wherever that may be? And that way that they can maybe even get an education, obviously build their profiles and build up on their entire person, and be able to give back to support for their family. How many guys can I get to a professional team? So those are the things that, I kind of took pride in, and we were actually hugely successful in that, and getting dozens of guys, not only into college, but at one point being able to sign them to our very own professional arena football team, which came a year and a half after us starting the semi-pro team. So we were able to get a lot of guys the opportunity to play in front of their hometown, in front of their families as a professional athlete, and they got paid to do what they wanted to do, what their dreams may have been. And like I said, it was about a dozens. And so, but in that, of course, when we go out on our ventures, everything's not peaches and cream. You run into, different hurdles, different challenges. As you can see, I'm a Black male. As I told you at the beginning, I didn't come from something of success. I didn't come from a rich family. I came from the projects in New York City. I lived here in the West End. I didn't have just this big thing of wealth that was sitting behind me. So, one of the quotes I would always say is, never let a never let a $0 situation distract you from a $1 billion plan. And, with that, that's going to come with, you having to get on your grind and you overcoming different hurdles and different challenges. So for me, I was still learning the game on how to manage professional sports, because it is a difference in doing it as a semi-pro team and you go into like basically being a professional. So, with that, some of those challenges are going to be that, it comes name recognition. Again, who am I? I'm not some big time name, some big time athlete, some big time mogul in anything that anybody has ever heard of. So, you have to get that community support. You have to get that political support. You have to get that media support, that corporate support, the business community support, and then just, the fans. All that stuff has to align perfectly at the end of the day for you to be successful in the long run. So there was a lot of things that I had to learn. And, we took our lumps and bumps. And, as far as a product on the field, we were great. Things were excellent. And, but it was just the business side. And again, so one of the other things I had to learn was I had to get out there and network. And I think someone else kind of hit it earlier, talking about, getting out of your comfort zone, getting out to network and stuff like that. And, it's just one of those things that I didn't do in the past to get my name out there, to get my face out there so people knew my story, where I came from, what I was, bringing to the community and whatnot. And so that's just what happened. So we did the professional team 2013-14. We did that for a couple of years, kind of shut things down after that to kind of revamp the business plan and make sure that we were going to do things right, moving forward. And so here we go today. We fast forward to today. So now we got to about 2020, and of course, Corona kind of took its way with us. And we were actually supposed to start our inaugural season for the Louisville Extreme Arena football team. So we had to shut down due to COVID, but it was kind of a blessing in disguise because it gave us the opportunity to kind of revamp some things and make sure that we can launch this product that we're about to launch for 2021 and do it top notch the right way. And so far, there's a lot of great traction that we've had. We've actually partnered with U of L Health on a 3-year deal. And it's actually the first sponsorship that they've ever done in their history. So which, it's a blessing to be able to say that, we're able to do that with a top 5 corporation here in the city as it pertains to a sports team. We brought on some great partners over time. And, so like we have Chris Redmond on board with us and, which is huge. He's like huge and giving back to his communities, especially by way of sports. So, I mean, that's a local Hall of Fame football player that, has made a great name for himself. His entire family has. And, we have some other great partners as well that, they have different walks of life outside of football that we are able to kind of connect with those guys and network and be able to kind of share upon their resources that they have to help us grow and kind of gain altitude with the product that we have here. So as I was saying, like I said, we got a professional football team. It will be launching this April of 2021. I can't tell you specifically where we're playing at for right now. I do know the answer, but it's an actual surprise that we'll be announcing here in the next couple of weeks. But when we do release that news, that's just going to be another great announcement, and it's going to be like really one of the first for many in the city or for the city, and it's going to help just garner a lot of commerce for our downtown market and kind of get Louisville back to where it needs to be economically. So I say all this to say, obviously we have our product. Another thing that we actually did was we made our corporate office over at the Louisville Central Community Center, which is on 13th and Muhammad Ali. And, so we're headquartered there and we're going to be able to bring jobs, and it's located obviously in the West End, but close to downtown. But, being a African-American professional business owner, professional sports team owner, which is something that you don't see in the country, you have very few teams that and when I say very few, I mean very few. You can count on one hand, if that, black professionals that you will see in the sports frame. And for us to be able to do that and to get into that space, I mean, and for, you know, the black and brown children to be able to kind of see that, that's huge, you know, as we break those barriers, particularly in our own market. One of the things I also found out is I'm actually the very first and the only black professional sports team owner that's ever been in the city of Louisville. So you think back to all the professional sports teams that we've ever had, the Louisville Fire Arena football team that was here for 8 years, the Louisville Bats, the hockey teams that have come through, the ABA basketball teams, the soccer team that we have, both men and women's. I mean, they've never had a black owner. And here it is, you have the first and really the only. So, you know, hopefully, you know, our product can serve as an example for others across the country in our community to show that, hey, we can do this. We can do stuff that typically is not afforded to us. And that's what I'm willing to share. You know, this is not all about me. It's not all about, you know, hey, I want to be a business owner or I want to be in the sport of professional sports. This is about getting others involved. And, you know, and I look to, with my ownership group, to bring on as many African Americans as possible, making it affordable, something that's achievable for them to get on board with and have something that will be something that they can pass on generationally. And that's the mindset that we need to be getting into, you know, whether it's football or, you know, sports, whatever your walk of life is, if it's real estate or if it's, and I don't know, the food industry, whatever it is, you need to find that fire and learn to just go ahead and step out on that faith, on that leap of faith, and start your business and do what others aren't doing. All right. And provide just that platform of success for you to be able to pass on to not only your kids or just somebody else. All right. So, you know, I'm excited to be able to share that opportunity for most. You know, we're in a, I guess, you know, socially, like we're in a spot in life where you got this racial or social injustice, racial injustice, and a lot of that stuff going on. And, you know, not to say that a lot of that stuff is not happening. I tend to try to be one that thinks outside of just what the media wants me to look at or what society wants me to look at. I try to look at the bigger picture of things. And a lot of stuff I feel is smoke in the mirrors. All right. So I think, you know, I mean, yes, race is a big deal, but things, honestly, it just comes down to social economics. You know, we're not too far removed from slavery, you know, as a black community. And so, you know, in getting our freedom, we weren't given the wealth that many, you know, white folks were given, you know, coming from the 1800s. All right. So we didn't get all the land. We didn't get the loans from the banks. You know, at one time you had the Black Wall Street. That stuff got burnt down. Right. So we need to learn to come together, put our resources together and overcome things from an economic standpoint, because at the end of the day, you know, I would say this, you know, the top 1%, what's going to stop the other 99% from overtaking it and taking their wealth and their power? And that's putting divisive measures out there, such as race and other things that we sit there and we bicker about, politics, religion, sex, and stuff like that. So, you know, at the end of the day, we got to get out here. We got to get our grind on. We have to look beyond what the media is putting out there, what social media is putting out there for us to sit there and spend all of our hours and focusing on, when you could be out there grinding and working on your business, working on your wealth, working on your future and stuff like that. So, you know, I just encourage everybody to kind of find their fire. You know, again, me coming from New York City, you know, when I go back to visit a lot of these bigger cities, you know, you kind of see the drive that a lot of folks have. I know people that push little merchandise carts around, and you go to Times Square and they're pushing their little hot dog stand around. These folks are making 6 figures a year. You know, you come here, you know, I don't see that. I don't see the food trucks. I don't see but one I Love Louisville store. You know, you can go down a 2-block radius in New York City and you'll see 10 of those, and everybody's getting their grind on. So, you know, that's something that I think that, you know, we need to find within ourselves, within our own community, that, you know, we have to get out there and you know, just find whatever it is that we're passionate about and dive into it. You know, again, take that leap of faith. At the same token, you know, some of the things that we need to work on, just, you know, with our community leaders, is obviously providing those opportunities and making it affordable for our community to do. But, you know, that's a whole nother topic and, you know, a whole nother conversation. But what we can control is our own fire, the things that we can control, right? And, we have to get out there and go and do that. So, again, stop looking for handouts, get out there, get your grind on, overcome those barriers, break those barriers. And again, if you are starting off and you need to build your capital or whatnot, like I said, never let a $0 situation distract you from $1 billion plan, because you have it in you. So if anybody has any questions, I'm ready.
Mr. Victor Cole, man, we're excited about what you're doing. We really are excited about what you're doing. I want to just say congratulations for being so bold, for making such a massive step and stepping out like you have. You are an inspiration to all of us, and I want to say I appreciate you. I do have a couple of questions, because I was wanting to know, would you just tell us, like, how did you develop go from an idea to actually develop it into an actual business model? Like, what was, just briefly, like, what was that process? Like, because a lot of us are in the starting stage. So we got this idea. So how do we take the idea and actually move it from just being an idea to actually we're rocking this thing?
Okay, so obviously, a lot of people do a lot of brainstorming, when they work on different projects and stuff like that. And I serve on different boards within the military. As John said, I do my HOA duties as well. And a lot of times, a lot of people they sit around and they do a lot of talking. We come up with these grand ideas, but nobody ever really truly put something on paper and put the steps of what's going to be your course of action for execution of different things, of whatever it is you're going to do. So, you need to, one, obviously have a good product, good plan, but put something on paper, make some goals that are, that you can execute and see what type of progress that you're doing, or that you're making. Another thing is the research. A lot of people, they kind of just dive into things, and they maybe talk to a few others, and they don't really do research, or they look at what they see on social media or what they see on the media, and that's just not it. So you got to be dedicated to put that time in, whatever time that may be. If you're working 80 to 100 hours a week, hell, even if it's outside of you doing a 40-hour job, somewhere else, it's nonstop. So I know with my football team, one of the things that used to get me in trouble with my wife was, I'm always answering the phone in the middle of the night. It's like I never had office hours, and it is what it is. So you got to be able to be reached. You got to be able to dedicate just, whatever time that it may be. That's just one of those sacrifices that you're going to have to give up. So something's going to have to be sacrificed. So without sacrifice or without struggle, you're not going to find any success, and unless you're just that lucky anomaly. So, but yeah, brainstorming. Making some benchmarks, some achievable benchmarks, and you just need to actually execute. You got to actually walk the walk and not just talk the talk. So that's just some of the things that I did. I did a lot of the analytics, putting stuff on a spreadsheet. I'm always kind of dubbed for being the spreadsheet king with my guys that are in my circle. So I always kind of get joked on about that one, but it is what it is. You got to do that. And like I said, once you start achieving things, you'll start seeing that traction, and you just have to build on that. You have to keep your foot on the pedal, on the gas pedal, and just keep building.
Well, Victor, I don't know if you know it, but you just cussed on a national broadcast when you said to black folk research. You just said a big giant cuss word when you told us to research. That's right. Mr. Cole said it. You got to research. We got to do the work. All right. A lot of people tell me, I didn't get to go to school. Listen, I tell them YouTube University is free. Like, you can go and find out anything that you want to find out. So I love it. Then you said we need to execute. So it's not just having a plan, it's actually executing a plan. So I had another question for you, because you then had to go from developing that plan, then all of a sudden you needed a team around you. So then tell us, how do you surround yourself and begin to build a team for what you're trying to get to?
And that could be the hard part. because you do have to have a team. You can't do things by yourself, but you need to surround yourself with those who are like-minded, who have the same energy, the same drive as you will. So if they don't have the same goals of success and that same hunger, that same appetite, then you probably need to reevaluate your circle. So, and then sometimes, I mean, you may be a motivation to others, so maybe that is something that they're trying to work on themselves. And, and again, they are realigning their circle, and you are that pillar, that magnet for them to kind of be like, you know what, hey, I like this guy's drive, and I want him around me, and he's going to help push me. It's like a healthy relationship. You guys feeding off of each other and driving and pushing each other to make each other better. So we all have, room for improvement or whatnot. But, if you have that circle or those who have that like-minded of success, then there you go. So just over the years, like I said, with me networking with military members and just those within my community, I've just had the fortunate opportunity to, come across different individuals and be like, hey, you know what, I think you'd be great for my circle. And, here's what I got going on. And, I kind of talk about my vision and what my projects are. And, next thing you know, we're collaborating and we're doing things together. So,
you said something earlier and you were talking about, these different relationships with, now we got, you got Republican, you got Democrat, you got independent, you got white, you got black, you got Hispanic, you got all these different things, all these different labels that hold us back from actually being together. All right. And I know just from the little bit that I know about the team you're building, you didn't just go to just say, well, I'm in the black circle, so I'm going to just these black people and help me build this. Or you didn't just say, well, I'm in this political circle, so I'm just going to go here. Can you just speak a little bit about how we're supposed to like broaden that circle and not being afraid to what's the word I'm looking for, to diversify our friendships?
Right. Oh, exactly. So again, I feel like the powers that be, they throw out a lot of divisive measures. And, when you're bickering with another party because they have an opposite belief of you, people tend to kind of get stuck and be kind of narrow-minded, as far as them trying to go out and network. Just because I don't agree politically with your political beliefs or your religious beliefs or whatever that may be, doesn't mean that we cannot be friends or that we can't get along, that we can't do business together. You have to rise above that, so as long as we're all respecting each other. And I think, particularly in this country, we've kind of lost sight of that, of just simply respecting others' beliefs and just like, hey, it's okay for you to believe what you want to believe and for me to believe what I want to believe, but we can still all get along. I think that kind of holds us back from just a lot of relationships and a lot of prosperity, because, if just, for instance, let's just use Trump. I mean, it is what it is. If somebody believed, in a statement Trump made, then, next thing you know, they kind of cut off from a certain community. You don't know what that person may be able to add, as far as value to you. If you were just to be able to kind of come together and collaborate with that individual, it's okay. Let them have their belief. All right. So don't shut the door on them or really yourself because you're caught up in some divisive measures, again, religion, politics, and all this other stuff, and race and stuff like that. So, I think that's huge, for us to be a little bit more open-minded and respectful of others, thoughts and opinions and stuff like that. And just think of the overall goal of what you're trying to achieve at the end of the day.
Man, I tell people all the time, if you only gonna hang with the people that you agree with, let me tell you something, you're gonna have a very small circle. I don't agree with everything. Me and my wife don't agree with each other all the time, and I love that woman to death. I don't have a single friend that I agree with all the time. So sometimes we got to get past some of these divisive things. I got one last question. I'm going to let you go. I just want to find out in this big endeavor that you're doing, is there anything that you can think of that Master Builders Academy, the Master Builders Academy team and the members can help you with as you blow this thing up, blow the city of Louisville up with this new franchise?
Okay, so yes, most certainly. So what you guys could do is obviously support is everything. Sharing the word, sharing the vision or whatnot is always going to be huge. So typically it takes about 3 to 5 years to brand a brand new sports team. Us playing arena football, it's not the NFL, it's not the NBA, it's not one of the top 4 majors. So we're actually at the top of what we do in our space, which is arena football. And so that's the good thing. But again, it's just not the NBA, NFL, or MLB or something like that. So with that said, we need everybody's support, whether it's, if you're wanting to become an investor, you can, contact me via my email. If you're wanting to get season tickets, and once we're at the point of selling season tickets, do so. Or just simply just sharing a word, pushing others to, just support us. So social media support, going to all of our social media sites, simply click and like. I mean, that's a start. Sharing the news that we kind of put out. If you're a fan favorite of a certain player, I mean, there's a couple of local guys that are actually on a team, dance team, or there's members of our ownership group. If you go to our website, you can see there's a lot of members that are currently in our ownership group. And if you're a favorite of them and you want to support their endeavor or my endeavor, share it. So that's always going to be huge. So, the more support that we get quickly, is that the higher that the quicker that we kind of gain that altitude, to get into that cruising altitude that we want to get as far as branding and this taking off and getting market penetration. So, those are like I said, if you want to do the investment piece, like I said, you can get with me and I'll kind of explain that to whomever that would like to be explained to that, or like I said, season tickets, or just people patronizing the business and sharing the business. So,
well, I'm gonna tell you something, Victor. If you would you before you leave out of here, make sure in the chat right here that if you would post your email for those that want to contact you about seeing maybe they want to invest in some kind of way, because I know we have some big investors here. And also, if there's everybody should, if you post your website, everybody should take a moment and go view the website, and also now find the Facebook social media parts, and make sure that you go and like and become make sure that you become a member somehow of this is called Louisville Extreme. And so we're looking forward to that. I believe he said the launch is going to be April. Is that the first game in April?
Yes, sir. April 18th. So Thunder over Louisville weekend. It's a Sunday, 4 p.m. And so it should be a great time.
All right. And then they're going to be announcing where. He could have just announced it right here. I mean, I don't know what he's waiting on, but he can announce when he announces it. We're going to be looking forward to seeing it. And you got some fans here pushing you and going to be pushing Louisville Extreme, man. We appreciate having you on here.
Yeah, I could say this. It's a state-of-the-art arena.
All right. You listen, heard it here first. People, you done heard it here first. We won't even say where it is, but we know it's a state-of-the-art arena. So we appreciate you, Victor, man. We're looking forward to doing some continued business with you, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to speak to everyone. Have a good morning.
You too. All right. I'm going to bring the next one as we close out this session, the first one of the year. We're going to close this out. I'm going to bring up the beautiful, the one and the only Miss Andrea Ford. I'm partial. I'm sorry. She's the super intelligent, and she's going to tell us. She's going to close us out and tell us about being a member of Master Builders Academy. Miss Andrea Ford. Thank you.
Wow, wow, and wow some more. This entire forum was absolutely awesome. Thank you all for joining us today for our first forum of 2021, Level Up or Get Left Behind. Go ahead and share this video right now with your friends, your family, so they can partake in this information as well. What a great way to make sure you have some people moving in the same direction as you are. Learn together. That's how we do it here at Master Builders Academy. And for you to be even more involved, with Master Builders, I would like to offer you the membership opportunity. First of all, the membership fee is $100 for adults, $50 for students. And with that, you will be able to be a part of the Master Builder community, where you can receive encouragement, you can receive help, brainstorming ideas, and just an accountability partner within the members of Master Builders. You also have opportunity to have your business highlighted on MBA platforms, access to all the materials that are presented in the forums in case you want to go back and review those documents. You'll also be invited to join our private members only Facebook page, invitation to member only Master Builders events. Members only, meaning if you're not a member, you can't come. And those events are absolutely awesome. Also, you will be invited to our members only after party. Ever get to hear someone on here like we just heard from Victor Cole? So we're going to be able to interact on a more intimate level with some of our speakers, but it's for members only. That'll be in our members only after party. And you'll also receive VIP status at the 2021 Master Builders Academy Hope Forum. So that's coming up this year. And who wouldn't want to be VIP? Our VIPs in 2020, they receive some special treatment. So it pays to be a VIP. So join in go to sign up at masterbuildersacademymba@gmail.com. masterbuildersacademymba@gmail.com. That's the email address. Just send a quick email saying, I want to be a member, and someone will get back with you with how to do that and the information you need. And now we want to end as we began in prayer. If you all will just join in with me. Lord, we just want to thank you for allowing us to come together today to just share in these awesome ideas and information. And we pray, Lord God, that you would just help us to review our notes, help us to remember the things that we've learned today and put them into action, massive action. And Lord, we also ask that you watch over us and keep us and our families safe, send healing to the sick and throughout the land. In Jesus' name, amen. We will see you at our next forum in February. Look for the flyer and the details. Bye-bye.